When Sony announced the PS4's $399 price point, $100 lower than the Xbox One, it was to uproarious applause, and they freaking won E3 because, well, in part because of that. There's several other reasons that have been reversed, but that's not what we're talking about today. What we're talking about today is the camera they sacrificed so that they could have that $399 price point. So originally it was going to be packaged with the PlayStation Eye 2. The second version of their little camera.
Now this article is saying that the price point came at a cost.
That was
like
the cost.
Now we're missing out on this PlayStation Eye. But I say this is a double positive because this is exactly what we wanted out of the Xbox One. We wanted an option that came without the camera, the invasive camera that's watching us all the time.
But here, let me play some devil's advocate. Whenever someone says, I'm going to play devil's advocate, that is a precursor to them saying something shitty. So here it goes. The Kinect 2.0 being forced upon us and being, mandatory to play your Xbox, whether you consider it on or paused or off or whatever. It's not popular. We don't like it, but it is good for the Kinect. I mean, having it integrated into the game could add a lot of functionality. I mean, yes, at a cost of privacy, perhaps, likely, but also the developers creating software for this are going to know that it's in there, and they're going to maybe incorporate little extra things. Not necessarily full, motion control, but maybe some point where you can use the voice commands or some sort of movement, just now and then. And that's not going to be worked upon with the PlayStation Eye 2, which will likely be for sale for $59.99, still cheaper, by the way, than
the $100.
The $100 more. But it's just, software companies are not going to design things for it unless
they're
it's
not going to take that gamble that
No.
people are going to go out and buy a PlayStation Eye 2 for their game.
Mm-hmm.
So they're probably not going to utilize that
They're not going to
feature.
utilize it. They're not going to. Well, they're not going to want to use it unless it's already popular, and it's not going to be popular unless there's stuff for it. So it's kind of a catch-22 there.
Well, that's fine. If the Xbox One came without the Kinect, would you buy that one? Would you be more likely to buy that
If I wasn't
one?
forced to use the Kinect, I mean, maybe. There's a few other factors in play there as to why I might choose the PlayStation 4 over the Xbox. But based on camera alone, sure. I mean, if I'm really loyal to Xbox, I would. I'm not. I'm kind of on the line.
Could this just be the illusion of choice then? Like, you can buy the PlayStation 4 for $100 less because it doesn't come with a camera, but pretty much every game is going to need that camera, so you got to go buy the camera. Is that what's going to happen?
I don't know. I don't think they're going to actively design camera functionality incorporated in the games because it's not something that everyone has. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, I feel like it's never really going to get off the ground, kind of like how the original PlayStation Eye never really caught on, I mean, here and there. But there weren't, even at E3, there were only like 2 games that used any kind of camera functionality in the PlayStation 4 demo area.
Of the ones demoed, okay.
Of the ones demoed, only 2. And I think that was out of 30 or 40.
Well, that's probably
very
a
low.
conscious decision since it's not coming with the console. They don't want
But you could still, well, the Kinect, the original Kinect didn't come with the Xbox 360, but they, Xbox really showed it off when it first came out. They dedicated so much floor space to it, and they really tried to get the developers involved in creating uses for it in their games that would make people more inclined to buy it.
I'm curious as to if any Kinect-based games or PlayStation Move-based games or PlayStation 2 Eye-based games sold as many units as their contemporaries that didn't require those peripherals.
I don't know.
I can't think of any must-have game that needed something like that.
Yeah, but at first I feel like we were all really on board with motion gaming, and then a big subset of gamers thought
the Wii was so successful with its motion controls.
But then later we were just like, maybe this isn't something that's essential to my gaming experience. So maybe they made a wise choice banking on that or continuing that. But I wonder, does that hold back that level of gaming in general? Or is it not necessary at all?
Or are we just missing out on the PlayStation version of Star Wars Kinect?
That's kind of what I'm wondering. Are we missing out? Did we kind of miss out on the technology at all by kind of just eschewing it for the price? Or maybe there'd be a great innovation coming up in motion gaming that is beyond what we know about motion gaming right now. I don't know.
I think of most motion-based games for the Kinect as pretty shitty
Yeah.
But maybe that's just because it's not the standard yet. That once this is
Maybe it will get
mandatory for every console in the future, then the innovation will
Privacy
open wide
concerns
up.
aside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.